This is TOS Television, your digital-first Pan-African news network. I am Merciful Ajinamo, and you're watching Africa Now. After almost 6 months of severing ties, Somalia on Thursday said it was restoring diplomatic ties with neighboring Kenya following mediation by Kenya. Somalia cut ties with Kenya in December 15, 2020, after it accused Nairobi of interference in its politics. The tense relations between the two countries are over a maritime boundary and the ownership of potential oil and gas deposits, some of which lie off the coast of Jubaland, one of Somalia's 5 semi-autonomous states. The dispute is before the International Court of Justice. Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi and his allies on Thursday ousted Zoe Kabila, younger brother to Joseph Kabila, former head of state and political rival of Tshisekedi as governor of one of the country's regions. Zoe Kabila is accused of poor governance and misappropriating $1.9 million of unpaid salaries and other funds, lack of respect for the institution of the Provincial Assembly and for the national authorities, among other things, according to the motion by the Regional Assembly. 13 provincial deputies in a plenary session on Thursday allied to Tshisekedi voted to oust Zoe Kabila, 10 absent and none voted against. Zoe Kabila was absent during the voting process. A ban on the sale of automatic pistols in Cameroon has been announced by Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atanga Niji after a meeting with gun sellers in the country on Thursday, citing rising insecurity in some parts of the country. Nji said the number of guns owned by civilians was higher than the licenses issued to them. He said he posed a challenge to the government in tracking down gun owners posing a security threat. The decision is part of a need to keep data on persons who buy the self-defense weapons and ensure authorization is not fake, as well as conformity in the authorization of different guns. The decision followed a series of brutal killings perpetrated by suspected Ambazonian fighters, notably with machetes. The World Health Organization has warned that African countries risk a new wave of coronavirus infection due to the slow distribution of vaccines and the spread of new variants. The number of cases in Africa as of Thursday stands at more than 4.5 million, including 123,000 deaths, according to the World Health Organization. Complacency and non-compliance with preventive measures, according to the WHO, is because of the relatively low number of COVID-19 cases recorded on the continent. The WHO Regional Director for Africa, Matshidiso Moeti, said Africa now accounts for only 1% of the vaccines administered worldwide, down from 2% a few weeks ago, and only around half of the 37 million doses shipped to the continent have been administered so far. The first ever national wildlife census to be conducted on land and sea wildlife has been launched by Kenya on Friday. The census is said to be part of the effort made towards the preservation and protection of wildlife by the government of the East African nation, also to determine Kenya's wildlife population trends and distribution over time, according to the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. In addition, the objectives are to identify threats to wildlife conservation and management in the Kenya's landscapes and change the conservation model that mitigates human-wildlife conflict while protecting people's livelihoods, a model that balances conservation and livelihoods. The official launch of the National Wildlife Census 2021 took place at the Shimba Hills National Reserve in Kwale County. It was done by the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife in collaboration with Kenya Wildlife Service and Wildlife Research and Training Institute. This is your digital-first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. You're watching Africa Now. More stories after the break. Do stay. A big thank you for staying tuned. Queen Matwavambi Dlamini Zulu, the regent of South Africa's Zulu nation, was laid to rest in a private burial in line with her wishes in the early hours of Friday morning after a vigil was held overnight. She was buried according to Swati royal culture. The funeral was attended by family members from both monarchies. Focus will now be on the role of a succession in the Zulu monarch. A legal challenge to halt the naming of a successor has been brought forward after questioning the authenticity of the will of the late king, Goodwill Zwelithini, who died in March. The successor will be chosen among the late king's 28 children. And now in business, the Reserve Bank of South Africa on Friday disclosed that the country's net foreign reserves rose to $51.504 billion in April from $50.877 billion recorded in March. The cause is due to the increase in South Africa's gross reserves, and the international liquidity position was mainly due to an increase in the US dollar gold price. The depreciation of the US dollar against other currencies and foreign exchange swaps conducted for liquidity management purposes. Foreign exchange payments made on behalf of government partially offset the aforementioned factors. The weekly Mombasa tea auction saw a decrease with 12 million kilograms of tea offered for sale. The auction held on 26th and 27th and 28th April 2021. Of all the tea offered for sale, 10.9 million kilograms were sold compared to 10.7 million sold in the same period last year, and 9.8 million kilograms sold during the previous sale. This tea auction recorded a slight increase in prices auction, with a kilogram selling at an average price of $1.8 compared to $1.82 during the previous sale held on 28th and 21st April 2021, but recorded a decrease compared to $2.08 for the same period last year. And now to sports. Mohamed Salah, Liverpool FC and Egypt forward on Thursday won the Laureus Athlete Advocate of the Year award in Seville, Spain. The awards show was staged in a digital format and coronavirus and travel restrictions in quote. In a clip showing Salah with the award won, he said he was very proud to have been chosen by the Laureus Academy for the Sporting Inspiration Award. And that is Africa Now. For more updates, visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com. Also follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Stay with us and enjoy more programs on the network. I am Merciful Ajinama. Thank you for watching.